Hey guys, my name is Matimo, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming-related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a Facebook and Twitter message. The first question for that comes from Alexander, and it is, what do you think about an attacking operator in Rainbow Six Siege that can hack the security cameras on the map? You would not believe how often I get this question for Sunday Mailbox. Hundreds upon hundreds of individual messages with this suggestion, because it's clear that people really like this idea. Conceptually, it sounds badass. Like, I understand why people like the idea of being on offense, trying to figure out where a defender is, hack into their cameras really quickly, let your teammates know where they are, and then storm on in and take them out. Like, conceptually, that sounds awesome. Gameplay-wise, though, I'm not exactly sure if I'm completely sold on the idea. The main reason why I don't really like it is how in the world would you go about balancing it out or designing this for an operator? Does the operator need to have line of sight on the camera to be able to hack on in? Because if that's true, then the operator is going to be completely useless. If you're in the room with a camera and a defender is in there, either they're going to be able to see you because they're in the camera itself, or they're just going to be able to find you out because you're taking the time to try to hack this camera. It's not going to give you that much of a benefit. If it's where you can hack any camera that you want, you can just basically kind of get into your little device and then peer through any camera in the map, then I feel like that is way too powerful, like incredibly powerful for the offensive team. Now, some may argue, oh, the defenders, all they need to do is just shoot out their own cameras and then be good to go. But that just doesn't sit well with me, and this is the other reason why I don't like this idea, is because then you're shooting out your own tools, your own resources. These are meant to be used to figure out where the offensive team is coming from, and to have to shoot them out, especially the ones that are around the objective, just rubs me the wrong way. And so while I know that it sounds really cool conceptually, I know a lot of people like this idea. Like, you cannot believe how often I get this question for Sunday Mailbox. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I think that this is the most suggested question that I've gotten ever for this series. I know a lot of people like the idea, but I think that he would either be just absolutely game-breaking, especially if you had a Valkyrie on your team, or it'd be completely useless if you had to be in line of sight of the camera to take advantage of it. And so I think it's for those two reasons, unless I'm missing something, unless there's some other idea that you guys are thinking of that I'm just completely missing, I just do not want to have this guy added into Rainbow Six Siege. But of course, that is just my 2 cents. The next question comes from Kevin, and it is, what do you think about a DLC system for Battlefield 1 in which those who buy the DLC get it exclusively for a few weeks, but after that it will open up to the entire community? I'm really curious to see how DICE and EA handle things, because my fear is what they're going to do is like what they've been doing for the last couple of years, and that is to release a premium service for about $50, which will come out with all the maps, all the weapons, but it will only be exclusive for people that, of course, bought the premium package. Now, this makes sense from a business standpoint. Hey, we're creating more content. This content isn't free. We have to pay the developers. We have to make money, because at the end of the day, they are a business. They do need to make money, and that's completely understandable. But what sucks about this, and what your question alludes to, is that by having this type of DLC policy, they split up their player base, which is horrible for the longevity of a multiplayer game. Yeah, it's great to be able to play on the new content for a couple of weeks, but because there just isn't enough people buying premium, even if it is hundreds of thousands of people, eventually those servers are slowly going to die out. We've seen it in every Battlefield game that's come out. The clearest example of this is Battlefield Hardline. There just isn't enough people to sustain those servers for a long period of time. Everyone goes back to vanilla ones, and then those maps and those game modes go out of circulation. That sucks, especially for the people that bought premium. I want to go play on the Naval Strike DLC whenever I so desire. I want to play on Chainlink every once in a while, but I can't because of the business policy, this DLC that they've got going for the Battlefield franchise. And so I am right there with you with the idea that you have, where they could come out with premium, for example. People that bought it may get the weapons. That could be one really nice quality, or one nice benefit of getting the premium service. You get all the new weapons, you get all the new camos or the new cosmetic items. You even get to play on the new maps for a couple of weeks before everyone else. But then after that, it opens up to absolutely everyone, so that you can keep the community together and you can keep those maps with a healthy player base. The cynical part of me is a little bit more hesitant, because I can only imagine that they're making a boatload of money with premium, and if that is true, they're just going to continue on with business as usual. I'm crossing my fingers, though, that they're going to look at other games out there that have been very successful with something like this, like Rainbow Six Siege, Halo, Overwatch, realize that they can have a premium service, just change it slightly, and that way you have a much healthier community that's probably more likely to buy the product because they know that the game and those DLC are going to be there for a lot longer than just a couple of weeks after they release. A lot of people are going to want those new guns, they're going to want those new cosmetics because they're playing the games longer, and so just in general, it's going to be better for not only them, but also for the community. But of course, I do have my reservations. In general, though, I love this idea. Hopefully, DICE will adopt it, but only time will tell. The next question comes from Adam, and it is, do you think that the report suspicion behavior button on Rainbow Six Siege will be abused? I would hate to see myself or other players be banned for outsmarting the enemy team. You do not need to worry about this in the slightest. The only way that you're going to get banned in Rainbow Six Siege is if you're a cheater. If you use a third-party program or you're using some sort of software to assist you in-game, that's the only way that they're going to ban you. Doesn't matter if 100 people are reporting you as suspicious behavior. Doesn't matter if 1,000 people do it. That's not going to outright ban you. Players do not have that power. All they're doing is reporting to Ubisoft, hey, you should check out this guy. He's got like 10, 20 people reporting him for doing some suspicious gameplay. Maybe they should check it out. They then may review your stats, maybe they'll watch some gameplay. I don't know exactly what they do on their end. And then they'll either conclude, yeah, he's good, he's just a really good player, or he's a cheater and just flat out ban you. This is the way it should work in every other video game out there that has this type of system, and if it's not, that system is very, very broken, and I don't think that's the case for Rainbow Six Siege. And so, don't worry, you just continue on with what you're doing. Doesn't matter how many people are reporting you, as long as you're not hacking, as long as you're not a filthy cheater, you should be good to go. The next question is, what one thing do you want most in Battlefield 1? I gave this a lot of thought, and what I concluded is that I want to have an amazing netcode in Battlefield 1. I don't care about all the little gadgets and gizmos, a particular weapon. I already know there's a lot of destruction. I know there's a lot of variety in the vehicles. There's going to be horses. What I want and what I desire is to have a stable release, which I guess is slightly different, but a really solid netcode, what we have right now with Battlefield 4, or even improve it so that it's even better. If that was true, that would be a dream. This has not been the case for the Battlefield franchise forever. Every single time a new Battlefield game comes out, it always feels to have a very rocky start. Battlefield 4 was the worst offender of this. When the game released, it was full of bugs, it was full of glitches, and while I don't know if netcode is the right term to describe every single issue that we had by dying around corners, which happened almost every single time, it was a mess netcode-wise. And so like I mentioned, DICE LA has improved things, but I don't want to go through those growing pains once again with Battlefield 1. Someone did say that they did check at the EA Live event where people were actually able to play the multiplayer for the very first time, and they said that it was at 60 hertz. Which is really good news. Hopefully this isn't just an isolated incident, and that is going to be what we have at the release as a bare minimum when Battlefield 1 finally goes live. And so while I know other people out there will probably say, oh, I want to have a certain gun, I just want to have a smooth gameplay experience at the very launch of Battlefield 1, and if they're able to nail that, I am going to be one happy camper. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's Sunday Mailbox. I hope you enjoyed. As always, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a Facebook and Twitter message. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.